Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rob here. I'm joined by Tom and Damien from Diesect, and we're at the Crowbar in Sydney. How you boys doing?
Yeah, good man, chilling.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Happy, stoked.
How's the tour going?
Yeah, man, good. Show's been sick. Like we're all a bit tired, as you can expect. But yeah,
Yeah, it's super cool. Like, it's our first kind of real big serious headline run, and it's definitely like exceeding all expectations, which is like cool, super cool to see.
yeah, man, it's been amazing so far.
Yeah, that's sick. So my first question for you guys. I've seen online you guys have been classed as so many different genres, from metalcore, deathcore, hardcore, new metal. If you just had to pick the one genre to class yourself as, what would you say it is?
I guess like the overarching one would probably just be metalcore.
Okay.
I've been seeing a lot of people saying like dark metalcore lately, which I'm pretty cool with.
Yeah.
So
Someone, I can't remember who, someone called us like New Thol, and
Yeah.
I thought that was like the coolest shit ever. But it feels kind of, creased to be like, well, we're the New Thol band. But like, you want to make it a thing, go ahead. Yeah. That's a cool one. But yeah, definitely like metalcore, I think. Like that new metalcore influence type stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah, sick. So your songs are often described as like dark, empowering. When you're writing, do you think more about the music, like how it'll feel in your headphones at 2 a.m. or just how it'll land in like a packed room?
I normally, if anything, I maybe consider like how it would be in a packed room. I'd say if I had to pick between the two, to be honest. I do always, because once we write something, I go straight to just listening to it on my headphones and stuff, but then I try and imagine it, I guess, like on stage and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you've already ticked off some huge milestones in under a year, which is absolutely mental. So you've gone from supporting Throne and Make Them Suffer, releasing your new EP, signing Grayscale, joining Destroy All Lines as well. First off, huge congratulations for that. It's been really cool to see. Looking ahead, what's the one milestone that still feels like the true we've made it moment for Diesect?
Shit, it's a hard one to pick, to be honest, man. There's just been so many things that have happened this year that has just been so hard to even process, Like, I guess the first one would be signing with Grayscale, because that was like a big one for us. Like, for years we wanted to do that. And then I'd say most recently, signing with Destroy All Lines and Avocado. Like, I remember when I was a kid looking at bands that, signed with Avocado and stuff, I'd be like, holy shit, like they've made it, So then finding ourselves in that position, it's just, I can't even like process it at all. So yeah, it's real weird.
yeah, like backing on from that, it feels like this whole year has been like simultaneously like whatever next step is like the next biggest thing, yet simultaneously like not long after it's like somehow superseded. So like I don't know, I think like our next big obvious like goal is like international stuff. But obviously like just taking it as it comes, keep putting in the work, keep doing the stuff that we love doing, and hopefully people gravitate towards that,
Yeah, sick. Touching on that as well, you've made the move from DIY roots to signing with Grayscale and Destroy All Lines. What's one DIY habit that you refuse to give up no matter how big the band gets?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'd probably say first thing that comes to mind is probably like the social media side of things. Like that's always just been us handling, So I try like with that, like I try my best to reply to every message on there, and just even just how we, I guess, communicate on there and stuff. So I'm more than happy to just keep doing that, I suppose. But yeah, I'm not sure about you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, like I still really love the touring aspect of it, just kind of being like us four and like some friends that we managed to like rope in to being like our merch guy or whatever. And it like, even though the scale of tours gets bigger, the actual mechanics of how we run things has been more or less the same forever. And I don't know, like maybe that'll change one day, but for right now I'm totally fine with being me and six dudes that I love, like just doing the thing,
Straight up.
So yeah.
Yeah, sick. So your earlier EPs, Mirror's Image and Shadows Follow, read like steps toward Hide from the Light. Was that trilogy arc intentional from the start?
I think like title wise, it's kind of always low key been, I know when we came up with the title for Mirror Image, I already kind of had the title Shadows Follow in mind. But with Hide from the Light, that was kind of like a whole different thing. Because at first, when we wrote that title track, it wasn't even for Diesect. Like I was just having fun. I was like, maybe I'll do a side project or whatever. And then, yeah, showed it to a bunch of people. The guys loved it. And then that ended up becoming what it is now, you know. So, but yeah, the first two EPs for sure, and then Hard from the Light just kind of became its own thing, you know. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mad. So, how has your creative process and production changed from the days of Mirrored's image compared to now being signed with Grayscale and releasing Hard from the Light?
not too much has changed, to be honest. Like it's just us writing music either in our rooms or together in a studio or something. I think the only thing that changed really this time was we went and worked with a producer like Michael Campbell, like Crucible Sound. He just kind of helped us like trim the fat off the songs and just helped us with the vision of how it should be mixed and stuff. And then obviously just like the music videos and stuff. Like we went with Colin Jeffs, and he really helped us just elevate like the visuals to another level. So I think those are probably like the biggest things in terms of like how the final product ended up coming out. You know, so
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to it. Like in terms of the actual music production stuff, I'm more of a vibe check as like the real creative force really is like Damo and Jack, and then Jake adds his like little bit of something on the drums, and I basically be like, this is sick, or put this silly noise here, or whatever. Like yeah, it's cool. It's very like collaborative, but there's like a clear creative vision rather at all times.
So, you guys mentioned that the new EP is a chronological narrative with the opening and closing tracks intended to serve as like mirrors of each other so you can convey the final message of the story. What are the compositional mirrors that are in the opener, Hard from the Light, versus like the closer, Suffer in the Dark?
well, I guess it's like mainly in the titles. So like Hard from the Light is meant to be like a choice to hide from the light. So like the story of it is being that if you hide from the light, you will in turn suffer in the dark. And I guess like hide from the light being the first track is like making that first choice, and then as it goes through the EP, it's like the slow steps into suffering in the dark. So yeah, I think that's it, man, pretty much. So
So in the track Shura, you brought in Prod Plague and Luca Rizaka from 1056, which was absolutely sick. What specific stem layers or sound effects chains in the final mix came from those sessions?
well, Plague is actually across like the whole EP. He's like basically like the fifth unofficial member of the band. So he was a song hard from the light too, and just little things if like here and out throughout the whole EP. But that's mostly just like post production elements and stuff. You know, things like hi hats and just synths and all that kind of stuff. A lot of that we also do in house too. But like with this, we were just like, why not get extra people that we really like say Luca from 1056 to work on it and just see what happens, you know, because it doesn't hurt to have like another musician's perspective on the song, because they could add stuff that you wouldn't have thought to, which they literally did, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. So most of the songs in the EP range from 2.5 to 3 minutes long. I just wanted to touch on the track There Was Never Light, which clocked in at like 2 minutes 11 seconds. What storytelling job does the micro track do?
Well, that one's kind of meant to be like this big kind of shifting moment, I suppose, like thematically, where it's kind of like that step into suffering in the dark. It's like, because obviously like the first song is hard from the light. Like I think when, you know, the individual or the subject matter in the story gets to this point, it's like questioning if there was any light to begin with, and that's why that's like the heavy one, you know what I mean? Because it's like that's where it all kind of just hits, and then leading into like Suffer in the Dark, that's like the giving up song.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? And then when we wrote it, it was just us all in a room, just being like, why shouldn't we do that? You know, I remember when we first wrote the demo, I felt like guilty. I was like, oh man, like we shouldn't do this, eh? You know, but like, shit, we did it. So yeah.
We had a lot of fun with that one. Like, even there was a bit where I was like, put a Geiger sound and noise in, and there's like a little crackle in the background that you can hear. And we joked at like a screenshot of like Fallout 3, being like, this is how this sounds. And yeah, it's my favorite song we've ever done. As dumb as it is, I love it. Everything
Yeah.
about it's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, we did like so much stupid stuff on there. I think we like took a video of like a magpie screeching and like put it into like the guitar pickup and recorded it.
That's
and
sick,
yeah, like
actually.
that little gap in the middle right before we like scream Dissect, like there's all that bullshit going on there, bro. So a bit of ear candy, if you can call it that, you know. So yeah.
When I first heard the song, like in that part where you scream Dissect, I've like audibly went, holy shit, that's
Yeah.
heavy. Like,
That's mad. I'm super stoked that like that song ended up being the one that had the Diesect call out because we've had heaps of demos like over the years where there was one in there and we just never ended up leaving it in there. And I feel like that song being as stupid as it is, like it just ended up being like the coolest one to have it on, you know? So
yeah, for sure. So the track "Too Many Scars" came out as a single before the EP release. I remember you guys playing it in February with the Throne support as well. It was
Yeah.
really sick. What was the thinking behind letting that track specifically introduce us to the new EP?
I'd say probably because it's like more upbeat. Like I remember when we showed it to like Josh and Sabian, they were like, "Yeah, like that definitely needs to be a single," because we were so undecided on what should be the singles and stuff. And like yeah, I think that one has like a lot of new elements, especially like it's got like the hi hats and stuff, really introducing the kind of like reverse trap metal vibe, where it's like the metal first and the trap around it. And yeah, it was kind of just like a cool statement song, I think, to show where we're trying to go and like move away from like that kind of older sound, you know what I mean, in the new direction. So yeah, that's kind of how I would say it. But
Yeah, just adding on to that, like I feel like that song is like quintessentially very Dissect in terms of like the lyrics are hard. There's like a lot of like electronic elements. It's got a lot of pace, but it's also got some like ass beating sections in it. So like, yeah, I think it was like a really nice introduction. Like, yo, here we are, better than ever. Like, I think it did its job. I think it did its job.
yeah.
So in February, you guys supported Throne at this very venue, actually. What are some changes you guys have made for the headline show compared to opening for another act?
Well, the set list is longer, which is a bit hard for me, like, because my voice and stuff. So that's taken like a little bit of getting used to, just like over the first few dates of like the tour and stuff. And I think like, so obviously learning and like getting like the new songs tight, it's been like really weird playing the new songs because we've been sitting on them for years and like, it's literally such a wig out, like being on stage and actually playing them and then seeing now people know them. Because we've been sitting on them for so long, it's just like old news in a way to us, and then seeing people like know them, I'm like so used to it being locked down and like people don't know about this yet. So like I'm like, holy shit, they do know about it now. So and like yeah, obviously just like trying to I think just step it up in how we perform live. We got like our big sigil banner and stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah, I think like it's given us the opportunity to like play around with just kind of making adding a little bit of extra like showmanship to the set rather than just getting up, doing the thing, getting off.
Yeah, okay.
And I think if you've been to one of the shows, or I guess by the time this comes out, like the tour will be over. But if you went to one, you would understand what we mean. Whether that be the like intro songs, interludes, the sigil banner, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So touching on that gig as well, what do you guys learn about yourselves as a performer in those headliners that brought on the decision to return to the venue in like less than a year as a headline?
I mean, honestly, it was probably just like I guess taking a risk, you know what I mean? Because like trying to playing the show with Throne and stuff like that. Like they're such a killer band, and like they sold this venue out and stuff. And yeah, I think it was just like we're obviously nervous to play the same kind of venue and see what we can do. And yeah, we've always kind of just tried to just take the risk and take the plunge and just go for it and hope for the best. And that's what we're literally doing right now.
Yes.
A little bit nervous, see how it goes, but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think like this venue in particular, like Crowbar, is obviously like a part of the kind of skeleton that makes up the heavy scene in Sydney, and I guess even up in Brisbane for a time, and it's luckily come back home as well too. So it's cool to come to a space that is like for this stuff, that understands this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, it adds the sense of like community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. As we know, Australia is absolutely leading the way in heavy music right now, particularly metalcore. After touring with one of the giants of Aussie metal, make them suffer. Was there anything that you took from observing their work ethic that you've since applied to Diesect?
I think for me personally, it's always just like the showmanship of the band. Like that's something I always try like analyze and just see what I could, do better, like how I can interact with the crowd better and stuff. Like I'm coming from like a guitarist background. So like over the last 4 years, I've just constantly just been learning about how I can better, learn like what other vocalists do, and then also try to adopt that into like my own kind of stage presence or whatever, however that may develop. And yeah, that's pretty much would be it for me, you know what I mean? And also just seeing like, what they do in terms of like their headline shows and like the level of production that we in the future could maybe take it to. and stuff like that, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something similar, right? Is that like you observe other instrument players as one yourself, and you kind of realize that somewhere there's a balance to be struck between like having fun with it and being ridiculous as well as playing the stuff right. And sometimes those things can like overlap. But at the end of the day, you know, you've got to find the right mix for what the crowd enjoys, because you can play everything perfectly, but you'd be sitting there like, where, like, isn't that fun? You know what I mean? So it's about kind of like finding the balance and seeing how far you can push yourself in that space.
Yeah, man. So festivals often mix new fans and diehard supporters in the same pit. With Froth and Fury coming up, what's one song or moment you absolutely want first-time listeners to experience, and why's that?
I think first thing that comes to mind would probably be Pretty Much Dead, because it has that big, like, long, I guess, intro into the last breakdown, and it really like builds it up. Like, since we wrote that song, I remember saying like at my desk, like, yeah, this is gonna be like a Wall of Death song. So I think getting to play our first like open air festival with like hopefully a big crowd, getting them to do a Wall of Death would be fucking sick, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it's always going to be There Was Never Light. I know, it's like you said yourself, like, I've referred to it, like, even on the back end, it's like the oh shit moment. Like, and because the reaction's quite similar. And I feel like it'd be, with that sort of festival where there's like a diverse amount of like genres and even eras, like there's older bands and some super young ones too, it'd be cool to deliver that oh shit moment across the whole demographic. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the sort of thing that I'm super into.
Yeah, okay. By the way, you guys have heard it here. Wall of Death, Pretty Much Dead at Froth and Fury. Don't let them down, all right? So festivals are also great for cross-band chemistry. Are there any specific acts at Froth and Fury that you're watching closely for inspiration, or planning on any collaboration or on-site improvisation moments with?
I honestly haven't like thought of anything in terms of like that just yet. Like, I am super keen to like see like, you know, familiar bands like Zuko and like Terminal Sleep. Like, it's even cool just to be playing around like the same time they are and stuff, and just seeing like bands like that, you know, like say Zuko, for example, from Brisbane doing it too. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I haven't had a chance to like even think about it yet, because being on tour and stuff, it's all just so much is going on and like so much to think about. So I'm just kind of just in shambles, you know. So yeah.
I think it'd be cool to see like Polaris as like a festival headliner. Obviously, seeing them on other festival runs, they always, you know, bring their A game, and they're kind of like, you know, in that post North Lane in Hearts way kind of wave, like they're kind of standing out in a big way, which is really cool. But I'm also really keen to see some like kind of bands that I never thought I'd see, like Comeback Kid playing like Wake the Dead in full, and even Bleeding Through that was announced on the same day as we were. Those kind of older, like really heavy metalcore stuff, like that's what I love. So it'd be kind of cool to watch that, you know, from not, you know, like being on the other side of it all, and seeing what kind of a lengthy career in heavy music looks like, you know, rather than just, you know, they've been doing it a long time, and obviously that's what we want to be doing. So yeah.
Yeah, sick. So also with the festival, how do you plan to weave the tracks from Hide from the Light into a festival set that might skew shorter than a headline run?
Honestly, I don't think it'll be a too much of a problem, because like we kind of struggle to find the time for the headline runs, because our songs are pretty short, man. So like yeah, I was saying to the Graphic Nature guys the other day, because we're talking about song lengths and stuff, and like we were saying, like if we write like a 3.5 minute song, we're like, damn man, this is like a full-on song, bro. Like, you know, because like we're generally sitting around like the 2 minute mark. So I don't think it should be an issue. Like honestly, if we played like the whole EP in full, we'd probably still be like needing to add a few more songs on there. So yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty much exactly what Damien said. Like, I imagine it'll be the EP songs plus a few of the old hitters. Just trying to make it a really fun, like, kind of start to the day for people. Yeah.
So every band has that one track that's a secret handshake for the day one fans. For Diesect, what song do you reckon carries that weight?
Damn. I'd probably say Loose Ends, if anything. Like, we still play it quite a bit now, which we probably won't be playing it too much more in the future, I think, just like focusing on new music and stuff. But yeah, like I feel like every time that song kicks in live, people just instantly get hyped, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes we're pretty overplaying it because we've been playing it for like quite a few years now. But I'd probably say like loose ends or snake eater. Sometimes even bury you from the first EP. But yeah, I'd probably say those ones.
Yeah, for me it'd be like Bury Me or Bury You, really.
Yeah.
Like that's the first stuff I heard. So like, I wasn't in the band when it first kicked off. And that was the stuff that I heard where I was like, oh shit, it's kind of cool, hey? Yeah, and they're just ridiculously heavy. They're obnoxious. I miss playing them sometimes, but also don't really miss it a lot of the time too. So
I feel the same way.
So imagine 10 years from now, a younger band says Diesect was their biggest influence starting out. What do you hope they say that they learned from you?
I mean, damn, that'd be crazy to even hear, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be enough for me. You know what I mean? Like, if just we can inspire someone to like do this kind of stuff and like live this kind of lifestyle and try to do it, like that's honestly enough. Because for me, like getting into metal and stuff when I was younger, like even now having people come to our shows and say that we inspired them in any way, like that just means more than I could honestly put into words. So. Like, yeah, I don't know if there's much from us that they could learn that I can see, you know what I mean? But if they can take that inspiration from us, then that's honestly just amazing and what it's all about, So,
yeah, I would say that like almost to a T, but also like being authentic to the point of like ridiculousness. Like I think for a while we played around with what the band was going to sound like, and when we kind of realized we just wanted to be obscenely heavy and obnoxious, like, and that was who we were. That's when we really like found our stride. So that's the sort of thing that I think is kind of the best thing about what we do. So if anyone took that on from us, like that would mean the world, obviously.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So to finish off as well, if you had to sum up the emotional DNA of Diesect in just 3 words, like not genres but feelings, what would you say they are?
I'd probably say like introspective, angry, and emotional, I would say.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Dwelling, dread, destruction. Yeah, that's my theory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much sums up the interview. Thank you so much for joining me, guys.
Thank you so much.
Good luck
That's
on the gig.
thanks for having us on, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you.